This is 2001 Toyota Sequoia, and I happen to think it's the bargain of the century, a family car of the century. My friend paid $2,500 for it. A car that is based on Land Cruiser, the car that never breaks. And today I'm going to give you a tour around it and explain why it is even better than the Land Cruiser itself. See that, folks? I think this is quite of a special car. One, because I'm filming it, and that means that it is a special 4x4 SUV. Why is it special? Because I'm filming it? No, I'm not really worth anything when it comes down to automotive journalists. But I really usually hate 4x4s. You're sitting too high up top. I live in New York, and most of the other people that are into car industry and automotive industry in United States live in LA. So we don't really need 4x4s. We're not gonna crawl up to Starbucks mountain ever, really. So I think 4x4s are really nonsensical when it comes down to owning them in New York and LA. But this car, I think, it is a bargain of the century. And as I said, I'm going to prove today how that happens to be the case. And with that, I'm gonna start from the engine. This engine works better than most of the newer cars that I have driven. It works like a clock. And never skip the beats. You just need to change in oil, filters, put a good fuel in it, even though the owner of this car puts 87 in it. I'll probably have to beat him up sometime because of that. So this engine produces 230 horsepower, 10 more than a Land Cruiser. Ask me why, I don't know. And 321 pound-feet of torque, same as a Land Cruiser. It probably has, I don't know, a better manifold or something, ECU management, I'm not quite sure. But it is also 200 pounds lighter than the Land Cruiser, but almost a foot longer than a Land Cruiser. So how those figures have ended up in this car, I'm not quite sure. But it is the same thing as a Land Cruiser, almost. So then with that, folks, as I freeze to death, we are going to kick off interesting facts and features of this car. And first interesting fact of this car is that this car has a regular spring over shock suspension, unlike of the Toyotas and Lexuses of likewise cars, let's say GXs, LXs, and Land Cruisers. Those cars, not very often, but do have the problems with the suspensions because the air ride, as you know, most of the Mercedes and most of the other cars, Porsches, let's say Caymans, they do get shot and they do get worn and they need to be replaced, and then they are very, very expensive part for the replacement, as there aren't many used parts from the junkyards and you can't really trust the used part of the air struts. Second interesting part and feature of this car is that this car is limited, Toyota Sequoia Limited. And one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen is that you have the gold badging on the car. I'm going to show you a limited badging on the side in a sec, but just take a look at this gold badging, which Toyota thought once was cool. Isn't this bizarre? Now let's put the gold badging on the car, it's going to look cool. Now the dimensions of this car, as I have my, shut up. Now the dimensions of this car, as I have my hands in the pocket because I literally cannot feel them in this very beautiful 10-degree weather. Not really. 2 inches wider, 3 inches taller, and 11 inches longer than a Toyota Land Cruiser. And here we have some more of, oh god, shut up. And here we have some more of the bizarre gold badging of Toyota and V8. Limited said bedazzled gold badging on a Toyota. This car came with 15 or 16 inch, blядь, suka. And no, these wheels aren't stock, they are 20 inch, and it is a contradicting factor why this car rides like shit, as you will see when I drive this car. But the original option of this car was a 65 height or 55 height and 15 or 16 inch wheels on this car, which were pretty subtle, the least to say. Alright folks, with that we are going to move into the interior of this car, and the first and most bizarre quirk and feature of this car that I'm going to show you, which will be probably the most and less of the interesting features, is rear tailgate window control from here. This switch right here. That's right folks, rear tailgate window moves, goes up and down just like all four of the windows. Go ahead. How cool is that? And you can see everything into the interior now, and have an exposed family of 8. And with the real tailgate window up and my cousin in the back seat, quiet, not making any noise, okay? Sit back. Very well. I'm going to now talk about the simplicity of the simplicity. Simplicity! Sit back right now over here, alright? Don't interrupt me doing some videos over here, alright?
Mario.
Jeez, Mario. And with that and tailgate shut because it's very, very cold, I'm going to talk about the simplicity of the interior. Everything is where you want it to be. This is a charcoal slash beige slash shit color interior, which really dates the car even worse than it should. And if it was a black interior,
oh, there's a bus.
Sure, I know. God, there's another bus. Right, there's another bus. Now we're going to wait for it even more. I have so much time at a disposal. It's crazy. Not even joking. You know, I have so much time over here. No, don't hurry up. Just like, you know, like take your fucking time. Another one coming? Jesus Christ. Okay, now we're going to move into the interior of this car, which I think is very simple. And that's probably the most I can say about this car because everything is where you want it to be. The window switches and door handles and locks and window locks and you know, the door panels are very ordinary, and cruise control is on the steering wheel, and everything is where you want it to be. And we have the 4-wheel drive button here, traction control button, you know, the air vents are controlled from here very easily, and climate control is controlled from here very easily. Car does have an aftermarket head unit, which I do not like in the cars because it does change the look of the dashboard, but other than that, everything is ordinary here. Everything is stock, and it is very dated in here. And the interior color charcoal slash beige slush. Charcoal slash beige, as another bus comes to interrupt my video, does date the interior of this car even more. But as I said, for $3,000, what more do you want? And 220,000 miles. I mean, as I said, everything feels super sturdy. And with that, folks, we are going to move to the back seat of this car, where my cousin also wanted to be and wanted to have a part in my video. So say hi.
Hello.
Was it your version of saying hi? Say hi, like, be excited. That's what YouTube wants.
Hello.
Okay, alright. Favorite feature of this car, numero dos. The headrest integrated screens, which is a bizarre thing to have on 2001 Toyota. They also open and you have a disc insert thingy, and you can also insert the HDMI cable, USB, the aux port, and I mean, it's just bizarre to see that in a 2001 Toyota. And you have also various different grab handles, and you have some air vents, and you know, all the regular stuff that you would expect in Toyota. The cup holders, the rear climate control, that's really about it. But also, because this is a family car, you just click this up and there's a label here which says child protector. When locked, door will not open from inside. Very good, arigato, thank you very much for that. And now that we have covered 2 front rows of this car, we have one last left, the back row, which is very easy to get to. Is it? Yes, it is. Not with my camera gear in front. Come over here, buddy. Come over here. You're now gonna move.
Okay.
The back seat, you're not really going to move the back seat because it's hard to move. Heavy to move, but go ahead. Very easy, right? Isn't it easy to get back there? And it's even easy for me.
A big person can go in.
Yeah, a big person can get here. So how comfortable do you find back here? Is it comfortable? Very comfortable, right?
Yes.
How would you rate the comfortableness of the back seat?
You can sleep in it.
You can sleep in it? That's good enough. Give me a high five. Very well done, folks. If you want to get out, you pull this up, pull this back up. It's a little on the heavier side, this back seat, but yeah, not too bad. The features that I found in the back seat are 4 separate cup holders, and why I'm not sitting in the back seat because you cannot see me from there. We have very, very dark tints, and we have also two separate storage cubbies, one on each side, which are very usable and seem to be working well. It seemed to be very practical as well. Yeah, they're all right. With all of that off, a little bit of information, we are going to take the bargain of the century for a drive and tell you what it's like at a 217,000 mile Toyota to drive. Okay then, folks, driving the bargain of the century as stated by myself. What is it like to drive? As I have used many times, the word will be simple, ordinary, and very easy. Very easy car to drive. It's a very, very big car. It does feel like a very big car. As I said, it does weigh 5,300 pounds, but it's a very easy car to drive, and it doesn't feel like it's been beat on, even though it probably has been beat on, because it's a, as I said, very sturdy car. Everything is sturdy inside, every switch is sturdy inside, and it feels like it. I mean, the quality is very literally felt as soon as you get in this car and start driving it. Steering is lovely, the pedals, the brakes are lovely to use, very simple and easy to use, and the gas pedal is also okay, nothing wrong with it. If I put the foot down, you do feel the torque, but obviously it's got 230 horsepower, so you're not going to feel any sort of speed going at 40 miles an hour, not even 28 miles an hour as I'm doing right now. And because of the wheels that we have on this car, 20-inch, I don't know who chose that, previous owner, you can definitely feel the spring rate being very increased and being, it's not stiff, it's not really as stiff of a car, it just very feels bumpy, you know what I mean? It's not stiff, but it feels very rattly in some sort. So what would I do to this car to make it feel even a little more sophisticated and comfortable? Probably 15 or 16 inch tires, definitely clean it up from inside, and that's probably about it. That's why I'm saying the bargain of the century as a family car and 4x4. It's a very capable off-road SUV, and it's a very sturdy and reliable car, and that's really all you would want as you're buying a car. And surprisingly, at the slow speeds, you don't really hear a lot of the wind noise. The car feels well insulated, even though we have very big tires on the car. I imagine when you get on the highway, which we're not going to do right now, it's gonna feel, yeah, noisy. It's gonna sound a little noisier, and you do feel the mess of it once you come onto the brakes. Brakes are well modulated, and as is the gas. So I mean, I don't really know what else to talk about this car. Everything is just so simple, so sturdy. I would love to buy this car as a daily, not with this wheels though, because yeah, they're not very well suited to the character of this car. It's certainly not a Dodge Ram that people put 22-inch rims and all-terrain tires on. And it's just a Toyota, even though it's 18 years old. It's still gonna last longer than most of the many new cars. So with that, folks, with that very not interesting car review, I'm going to see you in the next one with more of my kind of a car, where I'll be driving that car. And definitely subscribe if you enjoyed the video, even if you didn't subscribe, because upcoming videos will be more exciting. So I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.